Hello, this is Lorenzo from That's Your Garbage, and today I figured I would do a video in Diablo 3 showing you how to use a wind-up wizard build and showing you what it plays like and giving you an idea if it's something you'd like to try for yourself on your wizard in Diablo 3. The first thing I need to cover is what is a wind-up wizard. A wind-up wizard is a build that uses a certain combination of abilities to be able to create a really interesting effect. So I'm going to open my skills here so you can see what I have. The build is primarily based around using the critical mass passive, which has the effect of critical hits reducing your cooldowns on your spells by a second each time. The other passives I have to go along with this are Evocation, which further reduces my cooldowns. Although, I mean, in theory, with a high enough critical rate, you could probably get away without this, but I like it for the security. And I have Cold-Blooded because this build also centers around using Frost Nova to keep targets frozen. And Cold-Blooded, as opposed to what the tooltip says, actually it's damage dealt to chilled and frozen targets. Any kind of damage that is increased. Actually, I think they changed the writing. Oh no, it says cold damage. It should say any damage dealt. This has been tested and confirmed. So Cold-Blooded is actually really good because you get a bigger damage bonus than you get from Glass Cannon without the defensive weaknesses in return. So your primary mouse button for this build is going to be Energy Twister. Now normally, in every other version of this spell, it's actually terrible because you can't control where the twisters go. But the Wicked Wind rune allows you to actually put them in place. And what's great about this spell is it does its damage over 6 seconds as a dot, dealing many small hits, and which adds up to the 252% weapon damage in the tooltip. Because Energy Twister generates so many hits over such a short period of time, it's excellent for generating a very large number of criticals if you have a high critical hit rate. My right mouse button is Teleport because this is a very important skill on this build for either for teleporting aggressively into mobs or for teleporting away from shielding rare and elite packs when their shields go up, or teleporting away from a molten pack that you just finished off and don't want to be there when they explode. But it can also be used during engagements against rare and elite packs to reposition yourself over short distances. So like if you're encased within the fire chains of an elite mob and they're putting desecrator dots under you, you can teleport a couple of feet away just to be outside of the fire chains and out of the desecrator dot, but still within range to continue doing damage using this build. Now the central keyboard abilities that this build is based around are using Diamond Skin with the Crystal Shell rune, which gives you 21,000 damage absorption before it breaks. Now normally the cooldown for the spell is 15 seconds, but because of how this build works, that's actually not what the cooldown is going to be in this build. Frost Nova, I use the Bone Chill rune with this. You could use Cold Snap for the shorter cooldown, but with the critical rate that I have, the Bone Chill rune is just as effective because I can use it just as frequently. Finally, you're using, as an offensive ability, Explosive Blast. I have the Chain Reaction rune because through some extensive testing, I found that you can actually start stacking chain reaction explosions one on top of another. So you can have multiple 3 explosion sets going simultaneously, which elevates the total damage output for this combination to a higher level than the short fuse rune. And also, because of the way it works, because it's going off as 3 blasts with a certain time interval in between, its overall AP consumption should be slightly lower than repeatedly casting short fuse. Finally, of course, because this build, to get the most out of Diamond Skin, you need to have your armor and resists as high as possible, even more so than actually HP. HP matters much less than normal in this build. I have Energy Armor with a Prismatic Armor rune. Now before I activate any of those, I'll go and show you the stats and the gear I have so you understand what kind of gear you need to be able to use this build. And I just opened skills again by accident. Okay, if I go to my inventory, this shows you my unbuffed stats right now. But the first and most important thing that this build requires in order to be able to function is a combination of, I mean, some people say 15 AP on crit is sufficient, but I like to have 20 before I consider that a reasonable amount. So I have this helm, which gives me 10 AP on crit, in addition to a bunch of other things, increased critical hit chance, etc., etc. And I have another 10 AP on crit from my source, which is really nice because it's got 10 AP on crit, 8.5 critical chance, 145 vitality, and a fair decent amount of damage. I got a pretty good deal on this actually off the auction house. So that gives me the 20 AP on crit that I feel is necessary for this build. I have enough combined attack speed bonuses, and I'm using a sword, which has a fairly high base attack speed, so that I'm over the 1.6 attacks per second threshold that's recommended for this type of build. Next, of course, I've got, including the Scoundrels 3%, I've got a total of 46% critical hit chance. The higher the better for this build. I mean, anything above 30 is really sufficient to get started, but the build, of course, gets better the higher your critical chance. Now, because I'm fortunate to have gotten a really ridiculous weapon for a very good deal that has both 56% base critical damage and a socket for another 70%, and 233 intelligence. By the way, I got that for 1,000,000 gold. Yep, be jealous. And so between that and a few other pieces that give me critical hit damage bonuses, I'm up to over 200% critical hit damage. Now, as you can see, my base resists are all over 500, but not by much. I'd like actually to get these up a little bit higher. And my armor is only about 3,700. This is another thing where, like, somebody with a shield could easily surpass this. But for me, I find it's enough. I'm slowly working on getting that up, but I'm not willing to trade off much in the way of offense for it, because I'm a bit of a DPS whore, to be honest. And so I've also, as a kind of a backup to, see, the way this works is, sorry to get off track for a second, but because Crystal Shell is going to be refreshing constantly, because when you're generating a lot of critical hits, your cooldowns are going to effectively be reduced to 0. So you'll be casting Diamond Skin, Frost Nova, and Explosive Blast approximately once a second. So because Diamond Skin is being recast so frequently, your actual HP, which I only have 28,000, and even that's more than I really need in this build, is not really that relevant unless you're, dealing with a situation where you're taking so much damage so quickly it's breaking your crystal shell in less than a second. And in such a circumstance, you're probably going to die in a second anyway. The only the extra defense I have to go on top of that is my 424 life on hit, which is not bad considering that I don't have an amethyst in my weapon. Anyway, my point was, because of the way damage mitigation works in this game, your incoming damage is reduced by a percentage based upon both your armor and your resists. So, as Crystal Shell absorbs a fixed amount of damage, in this build, getting your armor and resists as high as possible is absolutely central, because it will massively increase the amount of effective hit points that your Diamond Skin has before it breaks. So that's the best way to increase your defenses in this build, is through critical hits, so critical hit rate and AP, so that lets you cast stuff and reduce your cooldowns, and by maximizing your armor and resistances. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Energy Armor Prismatic, which will get my armor and resist up to a fairly reasonable level for Act 2. Now that I've sort of explained the basics of what this build is, although I'm sure many of you have heard it before, I figured it would be helpful to give sort of a detailed explanation as to what the hell I'm doing with it. And so I'm going to activate this, and now I'm farming Act 2, so I like to farm by using the checkpoint and the Vault of the Assassin. So when I load the game, I'll start in the Vault of the Assassin, teleport to the hidden camp, and then from the hidden camp I'll use waypoints to get around to go and try and pick up a little bit of Nephilim Valor. And at the same time I can hopefully give you a little bit of a demonstration of what exactly this build does. So let me see if I can go find some stuff to hit and give you guys a little demonstration of what one of these builds looks like in action. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is I'm essentially casting many whirlwinds simultaneously, and what this is allowing me to do is continuously recast Diamond Skin and Frost Nova and Explosive Blast. And let me just, freeze you, and yes, let's get this chain reaction going again. Okay. Let me just take a moment to recast this. I don't like being frozen, but now I've frozen them in return, so... And now I've got this going up, I can start using Explosive Blast again. And I think I've finished off that elite pack now. So let's just hit that minion. Those other guys come over here, I'll just deal with them as well. So as you can see, once you get going with this build, it's actually really impressive the way you can keep stuff perma-frozen almost. and just start going to town with stacking multiple chain reaction explosions on them simultaneously. The damage output effectively of this build is actually much higher than your paper DPS, because like you can do really silly things. You see the way the damage numbers start to pop up at a ridiculous rate of speed. One of the nice things to do with chain reaction is if you teleport or move while having it up, you can actually just carry the blast with you, which is really nice because you can just, you know, get stragglers or those stupid wasps that run away from you and teleport over there and blow them up, since you've already got it going. Now, generally speaking with minions, I don't really bother to use Explosive Blast because essentially it kills them almost too fast a lot of times, and it won't give me enough hits with Energy Twister to actually reset my cooldowns, and I don't like waiting for those to reset between fighting different mobs. And okay, I'm just gonna kite these guys because like whatever. Okay, fine, there's enough stuff here now that we're actually hitting some stuff. Now in this build you will be clicking your left mouse button very frequently, dropping energy twisters. But, you know, I mean, it's not so bad with the keyboard because you can just hold down the buttons for Diamond Skin and Frost Nova, and you just have to tap the Explosive Blast button because there's some sort of issue this game has with trying to hold down 3 buttons at the same time. I hate fighting wasps in this build, not because they're particularly dangerous, but primarily because they're annoying, because you have to kind of chase them down and try and get a freeze off. That guy was nice to come over and get himself frozen while I was there. And I already saw that there's a Molten Elite pack up there in the top left corner, but I'm going to try and get these annoying little bastards out of the way first. Oh, come on. An Elite pack of these? This is going to be a pain in the ass. Well, at least you guys will get to see that, you know, this, as much as some people might like to consider this build a little bit overpowered.
Need more arcane power.
It can actually be really annoying fighting ranged things like this. And come on, teleport out before the Desecrator kills me. That was really nice. Usually I'm not so lucky to get a solid freeze in on a set of wasps like that. They usually won't get that close together. That was actually really fortunate that I got to show you guys that. That was really cool. My Scoundrel, of course, bought it immediately in that engagement, but, you know, that happens. So, you know, usually those guys are really annoying because you end up having to kite them around and engage them one at a time because they won't get close enough for you to freeze all of them at the same time. But that worked out nice. It was awesome that I got to show you guys that. So, let's see, I picked up 2 Elite packs already, and... Oh, is that a Treasure Goblin? Is that a Treasure Goblin?
Need more time. I don't have enough arcane power.
Aw, son of a bitch! I thought I had him friggin' stuck in there. One bad thing with this build is that it can be really, really hard to kill the Treasure Goblins. As you just saw right there. If I could have shoved them into the corner and kept them there, I would have been able to get them. But it's really difficult in this build to catch Treasure Goblins a lot. But, you know, it's kind of like, it's a price I'm willing to pay for how fun this build is. You know, it's a really different play style than your typical kiting wizard build, where you're usually, like, running away like a bitch from everything and then just, like, tossing off attacks as you kite. In this build, you actually play a much more aggressive style. So, now I'm going to head over here because there's usually an Elite pack, at least one, out here. So I can see if I can pick up a little more Nephilim Valor before I head back into the Vault of the Assassin. And as you can see, like, a lot of times I'll end up using Teleport, almost like a Barbarian uses Leap, as an aggressive ability, kind of just get in the middle of a pack of them so I can start off by casting Diamond Skin and Frost Nova at the same time. So it's nice to get them frozen because then you can start dropping twisters on them really quickly, which is great because then you can start refreezing them. It's kind of like the way I like to do things.
Not ready yet.
Yeah, I'll bust that little explosive blast here.
If only they could see me now.
And my game's lagging. Okay, dead. One of the really nice things with this build is, as a general rule, unless you do something really dumb, mobs of white enemies should never really be threatening to kill you. I can think of one particular exception to that, however, which would be the fire constructs that you get in Act 2 sometimes. Those bastards can actually be incredibly annoying because their dot seems to ignore armor, resists, and everything else. It's really quite obscene. Their dot will kill you faster than being stuck in fire chains and desecrator at the same time, because I can usually face tank that, whereas I will die like a bitch to the fire dots from fire constructs. What's really bad, and you will get sometimes down there in that cavern, is a rare pack or an elite pack of fire constructs. That always ends up being an absolute nightmare in this build. It can be done because you can kite them, but it just takes like 100 friggin' millennia. Oh, fire chains.
Not ready yet. I don't have enough arcane power.
Let's get this party started.
Still waiting.
Teleport, thank you. I would not like to be standing there when the molten goes off. Yeah, that's a good way to use teleport, by the way. If you end up in a fight where you don't really have to use it, so you can be pretty sure it's not on cooldown, you can just against the molten pack, you can teleport away right at the end. Dodge.
Still waiting. I don't have enough arcane power.
With these guys, they're not really dangerous, they're just annoying because you tend to end up having to like chase them down to try and get a freeze off on them.
Not ready yet.
So it's just, you know, I'm just running around dodging the friggin' wasps. If you can't dodge those in this build, you really need to learn to play better, because it's not like exactly some kind of incredibly difficult challenge. So let me just loot these quickly, because hell, I'm making you a video to show you stuff, but it's not like I'm just going to be lying on the ground. There we go. Nice freeze off. Oh, thanks. You know, my favorite thing is when you get barbarian weapons dropping off those blocks. I'm like, where the hell was that thing hiding a giant sword? It's just that makes me laugh. Okay, I'll do a little bit of the chain reaction. You see, that's teleporting and carrying the blast with you. I just showed you that, which is really cool. And I keep forgetting that I have permanent... Oh, by the way, in the options, this is a really nice feature. You can actually turn on permanent tooltips for drops. I didn't know that for a while. Oh god, another pack of these? Already? Teleport, teleport. And you see, that's what happens when you game lags, because you're recording with fraps and you don't get to teleport off as fast as you should. Because I was standing there in a desecrator pool and they had managed to get out of being frozen and fly away from me. So that's something you got to be careful of. I mean, generally you won't be recording, but when there is lag, it can actually be a bit of a problem. Especially because using this build, I kind of get used to not ever using healing potions. Because I have my all my keyboard abilities set up so that... let me just shut up for a second.
I don't have enough arcane power.
Concentrate.
Need more time. Not ready yet.
So teleport wormhole, as you can see, can be really, really useful in situations like that where you don't want to end up getting stuck.
Need more time.
Yep. Now, this is also a good demonstration, I guess, that you really shouldn't just try and do stupid things like I was just doing. I really, a lot of times, am kind of lazy with this build and will really risk dying to get off a solid freeze on a whole pack so I can get the chain reaction going. But if you're a little more patient, Ooh, good, good, good. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, okay. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want to fight you guys. I want to kite. I guess I don't have a choice now. Went the wrong way. Down a little bit. Okay. Where did those wasps go? Where'd I leave them?
Why did you leave Kingsport?
I wanted to see the world before
I don't want to do that.
You got caught stealing from
I mean,
someone.
I will do that shortly because it's another
was
Nephilim
such a
Valor, but
tempting prize.
I didn't want to do that right now.
Need more time.
There's an enemy over there. We are in for a fight.
Still waiting. Not ready yet. Need more arcane power.
Sorry for being a little quiet, but I actually have to pay attention when fighting these guys. Oh yeah. Yeah! That's how you use the terrain to your advantage right there. That was beautiful. It was worth showing me dying like a moron a couple of times to show you that. I kited them into a narrow gap. I like to do this with these guys if I have the space. Kited them into a narrow gap so that they were all forced to clump together. Got on a solid freeze on them and got them to keep them permafrozen until they died. I think that was definitely worth me dying like a moron a couple of times because I was being lazy. Yeah, whatever. Hidden cash. Yeah, okay. 129 gold. I care lots. Okay, I'll come over and do this guy because at the end you get another elite pack. So it's nice. So, okay, let me go over here and do this one first. Hello.
Need more time.
You hear their angry voices. Still more remain.
This one
One
now.
more left.
Now I'm going to do the smart thing and I'm actually going to wait for my diamond skin to refresh. Alright then. Let me just... you may notice in this video I took a compulsively recast energy armor, but it's better than screwing up and not having it up when you need it. Because it can drop. That was nice of you to come right back into that. Hello? Don't you want to fight me?
Not ready yet. I don't have enough
Elite
arcane
packs of
power.
these things can be really annoying.
Maybe now the old man can handle the spirits.
The voices fade. The spirits in this place are calm. I can begin the work of freeing them.
Before I talk to him, I'm going to wait to let my cooldowns reset because, of course, now I'm going to get the elite pack.
The howling of the spirits lessens.
Okay, yeah.
You have put them to rest. Wait. Listen.
Need more time.
Oh, they're shielding. Oh,
Not ready yet.
run, run. All their shields went up at the same time. I don't want to get frozen, so I'm just going to go this way. Come at me, bros.
Still waiting. Not ready yet.
Where's my teleport button? Hello? So as you can see against shielding packs, you want to get in there and, you know, try and get the freeze off and, you know, start doing damage to them. And as much explosions off as possible. But as soon as you see that shield go up, you better be ready to teleport away because bad things are gonna happen if you try and stay in there with the shield up.
Need more time.
Okay, start tapping chain reaction. Teleport away because the shield went back up. Wait on to reset. I'm lagging like a bitch. Okay.
Still waiting. I don't have enough arcane power.
Gotcha. Excellent. This is much better than the first time I tried to record this video when it took me 100 millennia and I ended up giving up finding elite packs to try and get 5 Nephilim Valor before doing this. I'm not even going to go collect the end of that event because I really don't even care.
I keep getting sand in my mouth when I'm talking.
That's just what I was thinking. So now I'm going to head back, and one really important thing to remember when you're trying to use the Vault of the Assassin as a place to farm, just give me 1 second. An important thing to remember when you're trying to use the Vault of the Assassin to farm is once you teleport using your town portal to the hidden camp, you should always use waypoints to get around until you're ready to go back. Because you can go back to the hidden camp now and you still have your original teleport to the Vault of the Assassin. So I can just take that and bang, I'm right back where I was. Now, given my luck, I'm guaranteed to run into a Spider Construct, rare pack or elite pack. Oh, I hope not, but I'm hoping I can just show you some various things here.
Need more time. I need healing.
Oh! Oh, I didn't even realize I was standing in a desecrator pool. Oh, that's awesome. I'm sorry, you guys. That was really dumb. I was too busy talking to try even notice that I was standing in a desecrator pool. Oh, I love that. Always makes me laugh. Oh, fuck. Fire construct. Always makes me laugh when I die to an elite pack after I killed them. That just, like, makes me friggin' cry laughing. Finish this loot here before I do anything else. Square topaz is nice. Guys. Hi. You wanna come this way, maybe? Sometimes what I'll like to do is I'll just try and kite things behind me until I can... Yes, come to Papa. Oh, look at those damage numbers fly. Oh, there's definitely entertainment value in this build. I love it when you get off a perfect setup like that. Yeah, I'll just face tank the poison wells and just make it rain damage numbers like it's the friggin' 4th of July. Alright, okay, so I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video here, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this demonstration of the wind-up wizard build. It's a lot of fun to play in my opinion. It's actually a lot easier to play if you go for a little more tank than I do, but I would have to give up the awesome weapon I have to get a weapon with AP on crit to be able to use a shield, and I'm just not willing. So for me it's like I have to play, I have to be a little more careful about standing in the wrong place because it can be a little challenging to face tank things. Although there was a weird thing a couple of days ago I posted a thread about on a post about on That's Your Garbage that for one day it seemed like there was suddenly a much easier ability to face tank elemental affixes, but then it went away. So I have no idea what that was about. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and let me know if you think it was helpful and if you'd like me to make more of these demonstrating different things in Diablo 3. And don't forget, check out www.that'syourgarbage.com.